this horrible looking, and the map had only so many colors that I could access. You're standing on like a black and gray pebbly beach. After the previous day, you had finally escaped Sloopadoop and Demogorgon. Lara rising from essentially death, with a new patron supporting her and telling her to prove herself. She had to find an island within the middle of the dark lake to prove herself and potentially earn some wings. Sephel and Indigo finally, with the help of newly revived Lara, able to kind of sort themselves out and make their way to the shore and the docks. Unfortunately, Grim was lost, but was playfully picked up by Andy and brought along until Andy waved you all away before dropping his body on the dock and running back into the chaos as Demogorgon continued to destroy Sloopadoop. And as you guys had all kind of started to rest in the boat, drifting within the lake, you woke up with your mouths incredibly dry and that kind of post-fever illness or illness feeling that you wake up with. And you assume that you must have been asleep for quite a long time, as all of a sudden you were kind of floating underneath this rickety wooden bridge into a small cove of this island, where a hovel, or hut, I should say, sits a kind of atop its middle center, and all along its length, it's kind of like a fishhook shape with a small outcropping that this bridge connected to with lots of pillars. There are stone statues of all sorts of different creatures and humanoids and monsters all about, and the skeleton is quite large. It would be gargantuan in shape and reminds you all shades of the Bahir that you had found. But you cannot see all of the structure. You saw that there was a small outbuilding to the northeast of you. You saw there was chopped wood, kind of covered well, and there are candle lights burning in these small windows to this hut. And the first thing you guys notice, besides what you see around you, is you hear music. And it sounds like a organ of types, but not the deep, like, resonant church type. Think much smaller, almost piano-sized. The tones are a lot lighter versus, heavy reverberations in your chest. And along with that, you hear kind of like this eerie, high-pitched kind of like whine. And do any of you have the performance skill? Just out of curiosity. I don't think you guys do.
Nope.
No. Well,
Okay.
Because it's charisma, like, I'm good at it, but I'm not proficient.
Okay. I will say you guys could roll performance or history to kind of identify this other sound that you hear.
Well, I got fucking history. 23 on history.
Okay.
A 7 on performance.
Dirty 20 on performance.
Nice.
First roll on
Okay.
these dice, baby.
Hell yeah.
I'm just confirming that I'm actually getting this right here. Yeah, I think that's it. Or no, I think this is it. Yeah. You recognize this as a far southeasterly instrument that is rarely heard from where all of you hail from. It's called and I'm probably going to butcher the name here. It's called an erhu. And to us in the real world, this is a like Chinese violin that has, I believe, 2 strings. And it makes this kind of like eerie, you hear it a lot in like horror movies and stuff like that. And you hear that kind of like intertwining with the organ's like song. And while the organ is kind of like this melancholy, dark song, this Hughes music is kind of weaving through it and bringing kind of a lighter tone while still somewhat being melancholy. And so you stand on this beach with a lot of weird shit. What do you guys want to do?
I first, well, this is more of a, I don't know if we can see this from here, but to the east here, there's this, what looks like a little, I don't know if that's an inset or like a plateau, but there's this rocky area with what looks like a table, or is that a statue? What is that in the center of?
Do you mind pinging for me? Is this to the southeast or?
No, just like straight east.
Gotcha. Yeah, that is like a large rocky plateau that kind of stands there, and you see that there's some type of larger statue atop it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, do you want to take a look around, or do you want to go knock on the door? What you guys thinking?
We should tread carefully. Look around. See what's here. We don't know what we've stumbled on.
That's a
I
good
would have
idea.
to agree.
I'm gonna go look in the well.
Well, let's go together or stay in groups. We definitely need to find food, water, more defenses if we can.
Smart.
But we
That's
should
good, you know.
definitely stay together.
Lara, if you're afraid, me and Stu can hold your hands.
Indigo.
Absolutely, I'll hold your hand if you want me to. And you see like his little mushroom arm extended up towards you, and it like barely reaches around from this cap, and so he just like leans back his body because he doesn't have much of a neck, and he's just like, I gotcha.
No, thank you. You can hold each other's hands.
Okay.
We'll walk forward.
And we do.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so freaking cute.
Sephel's just like, I'm gonna murder them both.
Yeah, no, he'd be straight up suggesting, like, he would have sarcastically suggested splitting up if he didn't think that they would probably get themselves killed.
Yeah. No, that was fair.
No, I think the well's a good place to check.
Yeah, and I know we just woke up, so I will put on a cheeky mage armor. Just seeing
Okay.
that up front.
It ain't cheeky if you think you're gonna need it. Buffs are great for a reason.
Yes, please.
Okay. Go ahead and make sure you guys are moving your pawns on this map, just so I can better
Alright.
describe things as you move about.
Sure thing.
Yeah.
So Indigo and Stool. have
Actually,
moved
I
up.
will stay behind. I'm gonna, like, on the way to the well, I'd like to look at the statue between us and the well before, while
Sure,
everyone else
sure.
is kind of peeking in.
Yeah. It's you find it interesting, Lara, that your friends have just kind of walked by this rather large statue to go look at the well, because this figure is quite frightening. Could you go ahead and roll me a Arcana check?
I would love to. These dice are so dark. I have to pick them up and then, like, squint. It's a 17.
Okay. You're not exactly sure what type of fiend that this is, but you know that this is, in fact, a horrifying looking fiend that has crawled either from the pits of hell or the abyss. It has these large, leathery looking wings. It has these 2 horns that kind of split off the side of its head and swoop backwards. It's got these 2 beady eyes and a large maw filled with teeth. It has a long, almost like chitinous tail that slinks behind it. And in one hand, it holds a large mace. and in its other hand or arm, it has a bracer upon it, and otherwise it's got these long claws, and it looks almost draconic, but more human-esque. And you think that this is some kind of demon or devil in statue form.
Looking at these statues,
Mm-hmm.
does it how detailed do they look? Like, do they look like they were poorly carved? Okay.
You think Michelangelo type detail. Like you could think that these things were alive if it wasn't for the fact that they were made of stone.
Okay. Can I said I was heading for the well. I'll do the well first, but I have thoughts.
Okay. The three of you arrive at the well, and you see that it probably stands 2 feet off the ground, and it has kind of this rotted zerk wood cover atop of it with this little hoop handle, and you guys looks like you could pull it aside, and there is a older looking bucket that sits beside it as well.
Cool. Indigo will give Stool's hand a squeeze, and then grab a spear haft from his pack and just eke the edge of the cover up and peek down under.
Okay, make a perception check.
Ooh, that's a 25.
Okay, you see that you can just see it in the dark. There's very still, only slightly moving water, probably about 25 feet down. And that is all you see.
Cool. I'll gently put the case down and give Sephel a thumbs up.
All right. Perhaps a good source of water if we want to gather.
Yeah, I mean, I think before we get too harvesty, we'll have to say hello to whoever lives here, because generally people don't love it if you take their stuff without asking.
I will come to that. I want to... Yeah, I want to come back to this statue here, because I think that, the detail of it is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do a... What is the base of it look like? Is it on a pedestal of some kind, or does it is it just the figure made of stone?
Make an investigation check, actually.
Yeah, I'm kind of creeped out with the level of detail that's here, and I'm wondering if this is something that is actually is it natural stone, or is there something creepy going on?
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
As Lara's looking at it, and you said it has horns around it, she's gonna reach up and kind of examine those. Is this giving her Roth's vibes?
No. These are, think like a bull's horns, or typical cow's horns, where it just kind of comes up like this, where it would be on the sides of their heads and poke upwards. Instead of that, the tips are pointed back, and there's only 2 of them. The rest of its body, except for the pectorals and down its abdomen and the inside of its arms, look like human skin almost. They look soft. But muscular, and then everywhere that would be our hair would grow is chitinous. It looks like thick plates almost, but not natural kind of armor in a way. What'd you get there, Sephel?
I got a 21 on investigation. 21. I did use one of my knowledges
good to know.
To get to that level. So,
you follow the the form down its legs and to the ground, and you see that between its legs and its tail that is kind of like slithered along behind it, it seems to be supported as is. There is no base. And the other thing you notice as you like look around at some of these other statues, you see a statue of what looks like an armored knight. You see a statue that armored knight is closer to the hut. You see down by the beach there looks like what looks like a mountain lion of sorts. And then over here you see what looks like a bannerman riding upon a small horse. And the knight and the bannerman on the horse are kind of standing on pedestals of like cobbled together stone, but otherwise it doesn't look like they're attached. None of these statues that you see seem like they have a base.
So
And
like that bannerman one, it kind of looks like it was created as is, and then those piles of stones got put under to like support the structure itself.
Exactly. Yeah. And they are not put together in any kind of fashion. They seem to be in all sorts of different poses. It's odd, for sure.
Indigo, you're an artist. Perhaps you could learn something from whoever lives here. They're an extremely talented artist. Look at this.
No.
Wow, I know, it's incredible. The level of detail is quite nice.
This
I could do an
cannot be
interview.
trusted.
Well, I don't think we have time for that.
No.
This is too
Well,
detailed to be trusted. But why so many different creatures?
Sephel, do you not support the arts?
Yeah, do you not support the arts, Sephel?
I don't
thought with
support
you and
dark
your
magic's
books-
mushroom.
No, we've been over this. That's very rude, Sephel.
Because an artist could only be good at their craft
Are
if they
they-
were using magic.
Oh.
Interesting.
Well, isn't art just a form of magic in itself?
You know, truer words have never been spoken. Still, great
Sephel
insight.
tries not to gag on one of his tentacles. Final question: Are all of the statues, like it kind of looks like it from the map? I just want to confirm. Are they all like looking in the general direction of the hut?
No, they are all facing in various directions in various poses.
Okay.
But they all, rolling over your 21 investigation, they all seem to be in some kind of pose that looks like they were either being attacked or they were attacking something. It's all some type of like action pose.
Yeah.
Or like they're marching towards something.
No, Sephel is pretty. He's pretty confident about what he believes this is. He may be wrong, but I've gotten the knowledge that he needs to solidify that belief.
Okay.
Well, so, do you want to go over to the big house?
And Indigo points at like the hut where the music's playing. Or do you want to check out the little hut? And he points up to like the little shack on the other side, like the dragon skull.
I would
Go
be.
ahead, Sephel.
I want to see as much of this as I can before we find what's in that main hut. I don't believe this was stone. I don't believe these were made in the natural sense of speaking. I believe these are beasts. I don't know what's here.
The lengths people will go to ignore the arts. I mean, those-
Indigo and Stu will start walking towards the little hut.
Oh, you're going to the little hut on the left? Or on the west?
Yeah.
Okay, like the shed thing. Okay.
Sephel, as like Indigo, like just jaunts away, Sephel will look at Lara, like make eye contact with Lara.
Mm-hmm.
Be very careful where you look and what you touch. And if anything comes, look away.
You've...
Look away.
Just be cautious. There are tales of these kinds of beasts, and they're There are many things that can do this, if I am correct. None of them are nice.
Yeah, I think Lara looks at Sephel and kind of like takes it very seriously and does a slow nod. I think we should follow Indigo and not split up.
Yes. Yep. That's smart.
Okay,
He'll
cool.
follow up.
As you linger behind. You know what? Yeah, that's a good idea.
6 seconds. 6 seconds, Will.
I said a sentence. As you're all walking past this gargantuan skull,
Yeah, we've seen it before. Fuck your dragons.
roll a nature or arcana check, your choice.
Yeah, I would be curious about this, so.
I mean, it's massive. It's how would you not look?
25.
Okay.
Yeah.
13.
17.
17. Okay. So the 17 and the 25, Lara, you would know that this was a skull to you've read enough, who knows if you've come across one. This belonged to a black dragon.
Shit.
You, Indigo, would identify from the size that this must have been an ancient black dragon.
Ooh.
Sephel, you would think, because of the actual freaking size of it, that this was a great worm black dragon.
Oh, shit.
Because the skull is at least like 35, 40 feet long in itself. It's massive. And it seems to be half buried within the earth. And as you look back along the island, and you can see that massive rib cage and smaller ends kind of curving around this island, you think that this must be the site of where it perished or chose to die. And you think back to histories that you had read as kind of like more memories come to you, that oftentimes when dragons pass, nature kind of abounds around them, creating new places or lush ecosystems or not, depending, on how things went. But this is what you believe it was. This was a great worm, black dragon, and you are currently standing upon the islands that its bones reside within.
That's terrifyingly awesome. And he will relay that information. Especially to Indigo, who I'm sure would be super interested in documenting that.
Well, okay, I know I said I was going to look in the shed, and I'm going to look in the shed, but after looking in the shed, I must draw this. It's wonderful.
As you guys are passing this skull and kind of admiring it, excuse me, you notice one more thing as you approach a small building. The that kind of string instrument music, that kind of eerie but melancholy tone seems to be getting louder, and you think it is coming from this small building. And as you look at it, you see that there's actually a iron door that is probably about 6.5 feet tall, and 3 feet wide. It's quite large. This is a stone building, kind of cobbled together and mortared. It's got a thatch roof. And you see that all around it, there are all sorts of small glowing fungus, and you see what looks like a larger version of fireflies. And coming from the top of the door, the iron bar door, you see kind of light hazy smoke coming out from.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go ahead and look in there, please.
Okay.
Nothing here is good.
The rest of you approaching as well, or is it just Stool and Indigo being brave this episode?
I'm keeping
Whoa!
Hey. So you may taunt me, DM. Sephel knows where he stands. He is keeping a healthy distance.
I almost died, okay? Give me a
Yeah.
break.
Yeah, now you're all the more powerful for it.
close in, like I'm gonna stay close enough to see what's going on, but I'm not like at the fucking door.
Okay. Yeah, you can't necessarily see what is inside from where you guys currently stand. A little bit to the southwest of this, or southeast of this door.
Fucking. Where's the door? This east side? Just that's the door?
This is the door here.
Okay, well, I'll stand there then. I have an angle.
Okay. Sure. You angle yourself. The token I have does not represent this figure accurately. Because inside Indigo, you see a woman. You see a large woman. You couldn't say exactly how tall their height is, but they are wearing this beautiful, like, flowing robe with floral patterns of what we would call like bonsai trees and stuff like that. It's very artistic. And you see that they are wearing these kind of like, I think they're called hakamas. It's like a type of Japanese pants that like samurais used to wear. And you see that she has like this kind of long gray and black hair, like there's streaks of gray within it, and some of it's done up with like pins in it, and they actually have a kind of small pipe, and that is where the smoke is coming from as it curls up and away. And they sit kind of working the oh my god, I closed my tab. Is it the burhu? Burhu, thank you. The burhu. With one hand they are holding it, the left hand they're holding it, and with the right you see that there is like a fantastical looking prosthetic arm that is working the bow back and forth across the strings. And this figure, you can tell from these gowns, this woman is built, but not in the bodybuilder, like you can see every friggin' muscle. And Andrew, I'm glad that you're the one looking into this. Do you remember, we're going to get anecdotal for a second, the Greek woman that went to our gym, the power lifter? Who would like
woman in
watch
black.
us?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Who would just like watch us squat and she'd be like, oh yeah, nice set. And then she'd go in and she'd deadlift like 500 pounds. And she was probably like a solid 5 foot, but wouldn't take anybody's shit. She's built like that. Yeah. Power lifter, so like big legs. It's not the grotesque like I have muscles for muscle's sake. It is everything about her is built for strength, and like it's intimidating, but she holds herself gracefully as well. And you just see her kind of playing and puffing on this pipe. And there's like nothing else inside but a small bit of straw that she is kind of sitting upon as she plays this instrument.
Well, hello there, ma'am. Hello.
She looks up at you, and you can see that she has a number of scars across her face and on some of her left arm. The right arm is the one that is prosthetic, and she kind of nods at you and continues to look at you as they play, but it grows a little bit quieter.
Well, this is a lovely hut you have here. Have you been in this hut for a long time?
She kind of quietly chuckles as I did, and they say, no, I have not been here very long, and it is not my hut.
Well, I was really enjoying the nice music you were playing. Do you know much about this kind of island we're on here? Also, hello, my name's Indigo. Who are you?
Hello, Indigo. I am Lady Ingra Lalaboda.
Oh, wow, I've never met like a lady before. Wow.
That's what many have called me. You can just call me Laboda. And for this island, I came here in search of something that was stolen from me. and there is a not so hospitable woman who lives here.
Oh no. Is that why you're in this shed right now, playing music and smoking a pipe? Did she put you in
Yes.
timeout?
In a way, yes. What's the word I want to use here? I was able to avoid her usual tricks and have found myself here. Not that she hasn't given me these small delights, as she kind of waves to the instrument and the pipe, but I assume it is only a matter of time before I will join the others. And I'm surprised that you're here without being welcomed by its host.
Yeah, we were gonna go say hello at the big house. We just haven't gotten around to it yet. Should we do that soon?
You can. I would suggest averting your eyes, though.
Oh. Well, that's okay. Stool here. Here's my friend Stool. He doesn't have any eyes, so we have that going for us.
Stool sticks up his little stubby arm. Hi. You got very nice clothes. I don't wear clothes, though those are nice clothes. These guys wear clothes, though. She kind of nods. Hello, Stool.
Yeah, Mrs. the Lady Laboda, would you like to come out of the shed now, or is that where you'd like to stay?
I would very much like to come out, as there is something of mine within that hut.
Oh, well, do you want me to open the door?
If you have the key, yes, please. I would be, I would loathe the missed opportunity if I didn't take the chance to escape.
Well, dang. I don't have the key. But
Indigo,
okay.
what's going on?
Here, my friends are here. I'll be right back with you, Lady Laboda. So, Lara, this is Lady Laboda. She's trapped in the shed here, but all we have to do is get the key from inside the house. Oh, hey, there's Sephel. Yeah, and all we have to do is get the key, and then we can get her out, and then she can get the thing that she lost, though it's in there. But also, don't avert your gaze, I think is what she said. So don't look at the person who lives.
Already covered that part. That's
Yeah,
fine.
Lara looks at Sephel.
How is she trapped in the shit? You opened the door.
Oh no, I didn't open the door.
No.
It just there's a
Yeah,
you
he
can see
didn't
through
open the door.
bars.
You can see through the bars. There's
there
no
are bars.
wood. It's just think
Gotcha.
like prison cell doors. You can look
Gotcha.
straight through it. It's just
I
that.
misunderstood. I thought it was I thought it was a big door, and he pushed it open.
No. And you actually see Lady Laboda walk up to the door, and she stands within an inch of the door frame. So she stands 6'5". And she fills up that frame, the doorway frame, with her robes and her figure, and she kind of sticks her arms through the slots and nods her head at the rest of you.
Laboda, is it?
Mm-hmm.
And why is it that you are in this strange cell?
I was dreadfully unprepared. It's been many years since I've seen service, and I thought my belongings were in kinder hands than what I found them in. And because of the disagreement I had with the woman of the hut, I found myself here until I find means of leaving, which may find itself in the four of you. I don't know.
Can I do a quick detect magic on this
Sure.
small building, on the cell?
Mm-hmm.
See if I get anything from that.
Are you doing a result?
What was that again, Sam?
No, I'm just casting it.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm not ritual.
Okay.
Just detect magic.
Go ahead and mark that then.
Yep.
You cast detect magic, and you feel that there is something, definitely like the presence of evocation magic on the door, centered around the lock.
Okay. So okay. I will walk up to I'll walk up to the door. I won't touch it, but I'll walk up and stand face to face with Laboda. Lady Laboda, you may call me Sephel. We have no reason to trust each other, and most people don't with my visage. But if what I believe is here and what you say is here, I would rather not face it alone. I might be able to remove you from the cell. I do not believe there are the appropriate magics to keep me from doing so, but you have to trust me and be willing.
How tall are you, Sephel?
He is about, well, if he could stand straight up, he would be 6 feet even, but he slouches a little bit, so like 5'10"
Okay. She draws her arms back in, and she crouches a little bit to look at you directly in the eyes, and you can see more of her kind of rugged face with these piercing green eyes, and she sticks her left arm out in kind of a like clasp arms with me kind of a way, and she goes, shake on it, and we'll see how the trust falls.
I'm gonna have to do an insight check on that one.
100% go for it. I'd be surprised if you didn't.
We just fucking met?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody in a strange cell on a strange island.
Yeah.
Seems fun.
Wants to make a deal by shaking hands. That is a dirty 20 on insight.
She seems very sincere in that, like, she just wants to clap arms, but you think she's also trying to get a read on you, and she can kind of see you eyeing her over, and she goes, where I'm from, it was traditional for warriors to clasp arms before going into battle, as an assurance of trust that we would have each other's backs. And I never went anywhere without clasping arms with one of my men.
I am far from a warrior, but I will appreciate your custom. And he clasps her arm.
And she, like, locks onto your arm, like, super firm grip. And she kind of pulls you close, and she just stares at you with this incredibly stern look, like she's trying to look into your soul. And then she lets go, and she pulls her arm back through and says, have a way at it.
Okay. I just need this to work once.
Oh, that's right, your spell. I forgot about the spell.
because she is willing, as long as there is no magic that would stop it, I would like to cast Vortex Warp on her and teleport her outside of the cell. I will pull her right behind us. Let's say this cell here between like us and this.
Okay.
Like triangulated between us, the skull, and the cart.
Sure. You watch her. Well, how does this actually? What does this look like? Do they just all of a sudden wink out, or like does something happen? Describe this for me.
Okay, so it is a. I've been thinking of the flavor of this spell for weeks, guys. I've never been able to get it to work. I'm emotional. I don't even know if it's going to. No, but So yeah, no, he's been trying this spell and he hasn't been able to kind of get it yet. It came to him and it was him playing with things, and I think he has put a lot of thought, but he hasn't been able to get it. And so in this, where he has time to focus, this isn't combat. He has the time to really key into this magic that he's still learning. And he focuses on her, and he thinks about the space she's in, but also the space around her, the air that she is touching, the space that she takes up. And he sort of latches onto that as well. And then once he thinks that he has it, this nebulous, similar to the themes of what his magic typically looks like, this very nova planar looking magic, this nebulous gas and star weave starts to swirl around her. He says, and once he's locked into that, he starts thinking of the space that he wants to move her to, that space, the similar air, and starts magically trying to weave those together and willing them to coalesce in the same space.
It happens. You watch her reappear outside of the cell, standing upon this kind of dark-looking mossy ground. And as she kind of turns back to the rest of you, Lara, you hear something sound like a steam whistle, and you all look back at the door as it has glown bright red and then explodes. And I need you all to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no.
Can I have half cover because Sephel standing in front of me?
You know what? Yeah. I like that.
You.
Lara, you have quarter cover because of Stool.
Fucking Stool, man. He does nothing for me.
Oh yeah, he's just protecting
quarter
you.
Cover, you jerk. All right,
It's a 21 on the dex save for Sephel.
Okay, you're gonna take half.
14.
That's a fail.
It's 13 for Indigo.
That's also a fail. Okay, so we have 2 fails. Oh, I gotta do Stool.
My sweet
Natural 6. That's a fail. So the only one who succeeds is Sephel, who has the best track record for not getting hit, as this cell door explodes in bits of hot shrapnel.
Oh shit.
So for those of you that failed... Oh no! Oh god! That's a lot of damage.
I think that's actually kind of cool though, because he was the one person that saw that there was some evocation magic attached to the door, even if he didn't know the means.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense. As soon as it started glowing, he's like, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah.
And you're standing right behind him.
Oh no!
Yeah. Sephel makes this. He turns around because he can feel the energy for a second. He's like, "What?" And then dives out of the way. While the rest of you get lit up by this shrapnel, Sephel, you do get hit and you take 13 points of fire damage. While the rest of you take 25 points of fire damage.
Oh my god.
And this just loud, resonant echoes out.
Jesus.
And
Thank you, Father. May I have another?
and you guys are all looking at each other, and there's no smoke. And as you look back, the door reforms very quickly from all the shrapnel. It rips itself out of your body and reforms in front of the hut.
Oh my god.
Everybody out of the way of the door, just in case it does that again.
And Lady Laboda, who is just out of range, runs over and actually picks up Stool and grabs Lara as well, and tries to pull you guys kind of away from the door. And she's like, "My God, I had no idea. Are you all right?" And she's like ripping pieces of her clothing off and like trying to bandage you guys up as she like squats over you.
Yeah, Lara looks really bad.
I'm sure I rolled 1 minimum die and then 2 maximum. That was 3d12.
Jesus.
Wow.
Okay.
That is some
Okay.
Indigo
powerful
is gonna
magic that was
come
holding you
over.
there.
All right, everyone. We're gonna play a fun game called Give Indigo 10 minutes. Can you guys all give Indigo 10 minutes? Okay, good.
And Indigo just drops down and starts like praying, like, "Oh, Toro, your grace coming for you." And he like spreads out his hands and like, I imagine like the little grass like tendrils start to like weave their way around his fingers. Yeah, just 10 minutes, guys. I'll be right with you.
Do we think that we have 10 minutes? Because there was
I'm
just
going
an
to
explosion.
try.
Indigo. You sit down. What are you casting here? This is a ritual, I'm assuming.
I am starting a prayer of healing. 10-minute
Okay.
casting time.
Cool. You sit down and you reach into your magics and you start chanting. Is it chanting? Like, how do you do your magics, especially in this ritual form? I'm very curious about all of this because you guys are 3 different types of casters, and I love it.
I like Indigo. It's a little bit like a chant, but he also like directly addresses his deity, like very like one-on-one. So it's not less like oh, and we're like, all right. So today's been a hard day so far. A door exploded, and if you wouldn't believe it, so it's like it's both like a supplication and also like a diary entry, and then
Mom,
also
today at
like
summer camp.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Today's
gratitude
band
laced
camp.
in it.
Okay. You start reaching out to Toril, and that's it, right? It's Toril.
Yep.
Okay. For some reason, with gods and in D&D, it doesn't always stick, even though I'm like a mythology nut.
Same.
So you reach out to Toril, and you immediately feel the connection, and you feel their. It's almost like you start hearing the woods reverberating in your ears, and this peaceful sense of calm comes over you very quickly. But oddly, for the first time in reaching out for your magics, while you can feel the prayer of healing working, and you will, so you can roll those dice at any point in time, you feel another strong presence, almost like on the periphery of this connection, and it feels deep and both wild and tame. Like there's like this, you feel like this energy is kind of brimming and it's boundless, but it's organized almost. And you feel this presence tighten and almost focus to like this pressure inside of your head, and like you pick yourself up or your head up as you finish this, and you look through the bones of, or through the skull of the black dragon, and you just feel like it's to the south and it's not far, and it's like a beckoning almost. This gentle but persistent energy just beckoning to you.
All right. At the summation of the spell, you guys. Ooh, that's very good. That is much better. That's 19 points. To everyone.
Very nice.
Wow.
Very healing.
Almost a
Sephel
max
is
heal.
back at full, so thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, good news. Proal is great. Also, there's something else here. I don't know exactly how to
explain it, but there's something around. I can feel a power here.
Yes, very creepy stone beasts. We've been over this.
No, not the pure artistic power of whatever being is here. No, something.
I will destroy you.
Something strange.
Laboda kind of like gives you a smack on your shoulder. Sephel, like, shut up, let him speak. I don't know you, but I feel like just shh.
Yeah, that's the will talking.
And she kind of like bows her head at Indigo and like she's like, now knowing you are a man of healing, I have much respect for you. And like you guys are close to her, you can see like her arms are covered in scars and her face is decorated with them, and like her whole right arm you can see as she like pulled away much of her robe and was like pulling away bits to kind of like stop your bleeding, that her right arm is missing from like mid bicep down, and it is like a full almost metal and like white metal or almost like porcelain style prosthetic, and it's like fully functioning. It's almost like her arm isn't even missing, but you can tell that she must have been some kind of fighter. You see blade marks and all sorts of different stuff on her. So like a cleric to her, yeah, she's all about your shit. She's probably been around hundreds of you guys, and you would guess also by her age that she's like probably 50, maybe 60 years old. So, but yeah, she like kind of cuffs you and is like, give the man some respect.
Did you guys see this like a stone altar as we came in on the boat?
Oh, yes. I had planned
Is
to
that
look
what
at that.
that
I had
was?
honestly forgotten.
I think we should check that out later. Though I suppose we do at some point also have to attend to our host. I'm down for whatever order you guys are interested in.
Lady Laboda, you said that you're missing items. Can you tell us what those items are?
I can. I was once a warlord far to the southeast, and while I retired many years ago from that path, graciously, with my life and my family, I had my armor and arms stolen from me not long ago. And from what I could gather, the trail led me deeper and deeper here into the underdark. And I think my armor resides here. My weapons, I'm not entirely sure. But I have a full set of traditional plate that was made especially for me. My large nodachi, which is like a Japanese greatsword, essentially, sometimes called odachis as well. Think like a katana, but like the size of a claymore. Very, very heavy two-handed blade. She talks about, she says, I had a fearsome mask and helm made for me, and I believe those are somewhere else down here. While they are not necessarily magical, I have a bond with them. I do not know if this woman residing here is the thief, but I will track them down, for altogether they make for quite a fearsome opponent in itself.
Well, I believe we can be helpful to each other here. We've just helped you out of your cell. We require sustenance. We were seeking food and water rations. And to be honest, we didn't come here intentionally. And it seems as though we were drawn here, perhaps. But if we could help each other out, we have a boat. Which I think, and she looks at Sephel and Indigo,
And it
we
gives
could
you
share.
a toothy thumbs up.
Absolutely.
Do consider myself indebted to you for the time being, so yes, I will aid you as much as I can for your freeing me of that horrible cell.
Have you been in this building? She gestures to the main.
Only but for a moment. There was quite the startling image. I remember, and she kind of closes her eyes, I remember entering into a warm living room of sorts and a largish looking piano or organ against the... And she's kind of like moving her hands about, trying to describe things. I remember there being an organ and piano against the far back wall, and a very beautiful young woman with long brown hair, sitting in front of it with a brown gown as well. She didn't strike me as odd until she turned and she had a mask, an iron mask, about her head, her face, except for her hair. And I could hear something moving from another room, and I assumed from its heavy footfalls, its many footfalls, that it was a basilisk, and that this is what had created, and she points around to the numerous statues we see upon this isle. I kept my eyes closed and kindly requested of the woman for a set of armor befitting a woman of my stature. And as I kept my head bowed, I could hear her approach, and what I believe was the basilisk emerge from another room. I kept my head bowed, and she pleaded with me to look up. She said it was rude to not look at your host and greet them properly, and while I informed her I would very much like to do so, I would also like to remain moving. And she laughed, and then I found myself within the cell, and her voice outside of it saying that until I found myself in such a time where I would greet her properly, I would remain there.
Well, that lines up with what you thought, Sephel.
Similarly, at least in terms of the statues. Although, I had thought perhaps one or another beasts. Seems there are two. But this... The woman in the iron mask, does that sound like anything? Like, does...
Roll a history check if you want to.
Like, the basilisk lines up. Lady
You could do Arcana too, either one if you think it's some kind of magical creature.
They're the exact same bonus. I will, you know what? I will do Arcana anyway. I'll just say it's Arcana.
Sure,
it's only a 12.
Yeah, 5.
Nothing comes to mind.
Okay. I had assumed a couple of things, and while some were correct, I'm still confused at the exact nature of what is going on here. This woman is, and why she lives with that beast. But she wanted a proper greeting.
I don't plan on greeting her politely. Anyone who imprisons someone for no reason doesn't sit well with me.
The intellect in me would like to remove ourselves from this situation, but I feel indebted. Somehow, even though I've done the favor, your traditions are strange, but I said I would honor them.
You're talking to Laboda.
He's looking back at me. He was referencing Laboda in that moment. He's fighting with himself. We should leave. This is
real quick,
higher than
Indigo.
us.
What's your passive perception?
16.
You have noticed up until this moment that with everything that's happened in the last 15-20 minutes that you guys have been here, and like the exploding of the door and the casting of the prayer, the organ that you have been hearing has been playing. But as Sephel is talking, you hear that music dwindle away and stop.
I guess, I don't know, but the solo has ended inside, so
Not a smart. And like when he hears that,
I think we should
stop.
move out of eye line of that door. If this individual is coming out, we should not be here. Lara's gonna usher everyone behind the little prison cell.
Okay.
Sephel was actually thinking hiding behind the skull. So he's actually gonna post up like behind this, like behind the mouth horn.
Okay. Sure.
Area. Well, like just checking because my brain is picturing this one way, but I don't want to kill myself assuming. So like this part of the skull, it's like there are plate parts of it. Like it's not.
Oh yeah,
all
you're
hollow.
definitely
Like
hidden
the snout
from
of it.
there.
Okay.
Yeah. You're fine. There's
I just
definitely
didn't know if
large
I was like
holes where like the eyes and the nose would be, but otherwise,
Sure.
yeah, it's like a cow's skull. It comes down and it has the solid face plate,
Okay.
almost
Yeah,
like a forehead for us.
He's kind of behind that right now then.
Yeah. While the rest of you have kind of gone up around this building, and you all hear a opening of a door kind of echo out a little bit. And Sephel, do you peek out at the noise at all or no? Or do you any
no.
of you? No? Okay, so Sephel keeps there. Lara, Indigo, you guys would have like the best line of sight to potentially to the front where the door was, which was here, judging by the
Oh, I'm 100% peeking.
Okay, you're peeking. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Yeah, I gotta peek too. I gotta do it.
Okay, Indigo peeks as well.
Nope. I peeked poorly. That's an 8.
Okay.
So 14.
Okay. Indigo, you try to peek, but you don't have quite enough. Like, you don't see anything after the opening of the door. You can't really see much. You're seeing 10 feet away from it. Lara, you are able to peek through the horns and over the wood pile, and you see what looks like a tall, very thin figure step out in a very nice, now kind of like yellow gown with this long flowing brown hair, and you see amongst like the torchlight from the one that's outside the door, as this figure's head begins to like turn towards your direction, the glint, and you see that there is a like ornately looking crafted mask, like think like iron mask of the of like from like the movie The Old Torture Method kind of a thing. It's like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it has all sorts of different carvings and structures, and while you don't necessarily see like eye holes or even a mouth hole, it's just like a solid encasement of the face. And it kind of like somewhat looks in your direction and then kind of like looks back down towards the path in the water, and you don't hear anything, but you see it like hold back this long slender arm and kind of like wave forward, and then you guys hear this like slithering kind of like dragging noise, like something being dragged across wood. And Lara, you see a like blue and purplish looking large figure starting to exit the hut, and Loboda quickly like pulls you backwards and like whips you around face to face and is like, don't look at its eyes. Do you turn back around to peek again or no?
I would like to cast invisibility on myself.
Ooh, okay.
And then I will peek again.
Okay. You peek back out and you... Let me go ahead and get this to the front. You see this creature come forward. And let me get this.
I should say, my invisibility is, I had to swap my feet with my new stuff. I am shadow touched as my new feet.
Nice.
Yeah, how does that look for you? Does it look like traditional invisibility? Does it like mask you in a different way?
What does invisibility look like?
Like some people, it's like in some depictions, it's like they just step back into the shadows and then they're no longer seen. Some people, it's like they literally go wink, or it's kind of like Harry Potter in like the movie effects where it was like kind of like this rippling shimmer kind of a thing. Yeah. So
I think she does a very like a ripple shimmer, but it's like dark.
Okay. Fitting, because anybody that doesn't have dark vision like Lady Loboda is just like staring right at you where you were. Do you move at all, or do you stay there as you peek back around?
I will stay there because I don't want to move and then have Loboda not know where I'm at.
Okay. You see these two figures as you peek back around, and this larger shape, this lizard form with 8 legs and these red spines that come off in the short snout. You can see, and do you, as its face is kind of like turning in your direction, you see like this glow coming off of it. Do you continue to look at it or no?
I'm avoiding its head for sure, but I'm trying to get a sense of like where they're going.
Okay.
Like I know not to look at its face, but I do want to judge like what it is.
Okay. You definitely think, based off of like what you and Indigo talked about, and from stories that you have heard, and from, you know, Loboda's depiction, that this is definitely a basilisk, and it is a full-grown adult one. And you see the woman kind of gesture out, and this voice, you can all hear it, goes, "We have some very quiet guests. Gaze. I think it's time they come forward. Go along. Usher them, please." And this feminine form, or woman, turns back and walks back into the hut, while the basilisk starts. You can see its nostrils kind of flare as like you're trying to, or like hear it snorting and sniffing, and you can hear it start to, or you watch as it turns, kind of move towards the beaches, and then pause and start moving behind this statue. And Sephel, you can hear it, and as it comes, like passes this statue, and you can keep an eye on it, Lara, through the holes in the skull, as it passes this statue in where you think it should reappear on the other side, you no longer see it.
Oh no.
And that's where we'll leave tonight's episode.
What the fuck?
Oh shit. Hey, you, loyal listener, you've made it this far to the post show notes, and that means the absolute world to us. Thank you so much for being here. If you have one more second, we would adore you if you could leave a rating and a review in whatever podcatcher you're currently listening in. The ratings and reviews are astronomical when it comes to growing the show because it's what gets us noticed for new listeners. So if you have just a moment to do that, please do. And we also have a Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram if you want to give us a follow. It's at The Madness Table. And if you've noticed, we are now posting weekly episodes because of supporters like you. So if we haven't said it enough, thank you. And we will see you in just 7 short days for our next episode when...